Okay, grade 8. Today we do lesson 5. It's called Graph a Line Using Intercepts. That is lesson 5 of chapter 3. It starts here on page 209. Okay? In this lesson, you need a ruler, you need a sharp pencil, because you're going to be drawing graphs. As always, you have to remember everything we have learned from chapter 1. Well, and also some things you've learned before this grade. So that means everything you have learned before today. Okay? You need that to be able to be successful in this lesson. Also, you must know how to read. You must know how to use a graph. Okay? Must know how to label. All these good things that we are always doing. All right, so let's get ready. 8, 9, 10. All right, so I was just arranging my papers. Okay. All right, sorry about that. So in your book, the heading, chapter 3, lesson 5, graph a line using intercepts and the date. All right, the question is, what are intercepts? Okay, we've said over there, intercepts are points. They're nothing else but points. That means they are ordered pairs. That means you need to give me two numbers, and they're supposed to be in bracket and separated by a comma. Okay? So, intercepts are points found where the graph line intersects. Intersect is another name for crossing or meeting. Okay? So intercepts are points found where the graph line intersects or cross the coordinate plane on the x-axis and the y-axis. So where your graph is crossing the x-axis or the y-axis, where it is touching, this is called an intercept. So if it is on the y-axis, it's called a y-intercept. If it is on the x-axis, it's called an x-intercept. Okay? They must be on the x-axis or on the y-axis. And on the y-axis, or, yes, you will understand why I'm saying or later. So, where do you find the intercepts? On the x-axis and the y-axis. Underline this. All right. There are two types of intercepts on a diagonal linear graph. The diagonal linear graph will have two intercepts. The horizontal and the vertical will only have one intercept. So, these intercepts are called the X-intercept if it crosses the x-axis, the Y-intercept where it touches the y-axis. If it touches the x-axis, it's called the X-intercept. If it touches the y-axis, it is called the Y-intercept. All right, so what is the X-intercept? It is a point. It is only found on the x-axis. It is written as x, 0. So this must be 0 over here, always. The rest can be any number, an integer, any rational number, negative or positive or decimal or 0 itself, like that. So those are examples of x-intercepts. When you have an x-intercept, the y-coordinate of the ordered pair will always be 0. What is the y-intercept? It is a point. We found out. Where do you find it? In the y-axis. How is it written? 0 and a number. Okay? And here are examples. We've written them. Y can be a fraction, a decimal, an integer, all these good things. The x-coordinate of the ordered pair will always be 0. The first number will always be 0. The second number will always be 0. Do not confuse. Are we together? Okay? In the y-intercept, x is 0. X is 0. In the y-intercept, x is 0. In the x-intercept, y is 0. Okay, that's what I am saying. All right, now you've been given points, and they're asking you, explain if these points are intercepts, and how do you know? That's a question mark. All right, so yes, this point is an intercept because x is 0. So this is called a y-intercept. Or because one of the numbers in my ordered pair is 0. You can also say that. Yes, this point is an intercept because one of the numbers in my ordered pair is a 0. Is this an intercept? No, because no number in my point or in the point is 0. Is this an intercept? Yes. This point is an intercept because one number is a 0. Okay? This is an x-intercept. This is an x-intercept. This is an x-intercept x. Because the y ordered pair, the y part of the, or because the y coordinate, yes, because the y coordinate is 0. So this is an x-intercept, this is a y-intercept. How do you know where it is the number? That's where the intercept is. So the number is on y, y-intercept. The number is on x, x-intercept. Okay? All right. Now, where to find or where to locate the intercepts on the graph? So if you have a positive slope, that means your line is going up. It doesn't matter. So you can join, this is your y-intercept, and x-intercept can be there. Okay, then with your ruler, you join. So this is the y-intercept, and this is the x-intercept. And then with your ruler, you join. If you have a negative slope, and remember it can be positive or negative, you will see if we have examples. I'm just showing you where to find the x-intercept and the y-intercept in a diagonal up. I can do another one here. Yes, I can do another one here. I can do it here. This will be your y-intercept. And then we can do here. This will be your x-intercept. And then with your ruler, you join. I will join at the end. And let's do negative slope. So we can have negative slope. That means our line is going down. So we can have our y-intercept is here. Y-intercept, X-intercept. Okay? This is X-intercept. Okay? We can do another one here. This will be your Y-intercept, and this will be your X-intercept. Okay? And then you join them, and you get your line. And your line will be going down like this. Okay, you will see at the end once I finish. Zero slope means you're drawing a horizontal line. So, you can only have an Y-intercept because your line is going like this. So this is your Y-intercept. There is no X-intercept because this line, horizontal, will never touch the X-axis. So in the X-axis itself, it's a horizontal line. So here is the Y-intercept. The Y-intercept of the X-axis is here at the origin. And then you can have another one there. Why did let me use another one. I can use -3. See? Y-intercept. Y-intercept. Okay? So here I have 4 horizontal lines. I will draw them later. Undefined means a vertical line. The vertical line also has only one intercept, which is the X-axis. It will never have a Y-axis because it never crosses this Y line. The Y-axis itself is a vertical line. So the X-intercept is here for the Y-axis. X-intercept. You can draw another one here and you label that X-intercept. You can draw another one over here. X-intercept. Like this. Okay? All right, let me draw the lines. Let me put my phone down a little bit. Make sure you're using a ruler and a sharp pencil. And your line should be straight. See, I told you you'll use all the skills you have learned. All these you learned in kindergarten. Yes? How to use a ruler, grade 1, kindergarten, nursery school. How to use a sharp pencil. How to draw a line. How to plot points. This is grade 3. I made a mistake. Where's my eraser? Oops. Okay. Sorry. I made a mistake here. Okay. Then now this is negative. So you have to know how to connect your dots, how to use your ruler. And don't call them dots, call them points. Make sure your points are aligned together, like that. Okay? One more. And then I'll show you what I'm doing. Okay. So, there. Don't draw these ones are wrong. Draw the darker lines. So you see my line is going up, it is positive. This is the X-intercept, this is the Y-intercept. My line is going up, Y-intercept, X-intercept. My line is horizontal. You see, it doesn't touch the X-axis. So the Y-intercept is there. So the horizontal line has only one intercept. Only one intercept. The vertical line, so the horizontal line has only one intercept. It's called the Y-intercept. The vertical line also has only one intercept. Only one intercept. It is called the X-intercept. Put a hyphen over there. The diagonal lines have two intercepts. They have both the X and Y on both of them. X and Y, X and Y. If you're diagonal, you have two intercepts. They have two intercepts. Both X and Y intercepts. Okay? Even here. So this statement is for here also. And here. This statement is for both of them. Alright. We move on. Alright. So how many different forms are there to write a linear equation? They are asking you how many different ways can you write an equation of a straight line? Or how many different ways can you write a linear equation? There are 4 different forms, or we can say there are 4 different ways we can write the equation of a straight line. A linear equation is an equation of a straight line. Another way of you saying equation of a straight line is linear equation. Another way of saying linear equation is equation of a straight line. Okay, so we say there are 4 ways. The first, the direct variation form. The second, the slope-intercept form. Actually, these 2 are almost the same. They should be the same. Then standard form and point slope form. I separated them because I wanted you to see that here, the y-intercept is 0 all the time. But here, it can be any other number and also 0. Okay? Alright, so when you have the direct variation form, it is written like this. So when you see an equation written like this, you should know it's called the direct variation form. So the slope is m. This m here is the slope. How do you find the slope? Y over x. That's the method you will use when you have direct variation. The y-intercept is always 0, or you can write it as 0, 0. Not any other number. The graph must be diagonal up or diagonal down. You cannot use vertical or horizontal in direct variation. Okay? The graph must go through 0, 0. It must. Also, the x-intercept and the y-intercept are the same. Here, it will always be 0, 0. So the direct variation is the only diagonal line that has one intercept. Or, the direct variation is the diagonal line that the x-intercept and the y-intercept is the same. That's what I'm saying. The x-intercept and the y-intercept is the same. It still has 2 intercepts, but they are at the same place. Okay? Alright. So, the slope-intercept form, it is written as y equals to mx plus b. You have noticed y should be by itself. The slope is m. M is always the slope. Okay? It can be any rational number, positive, negative, decimal, fraction. The y-intercept is b. Always. It is added or subtracted. You should write plus a number or minus a number. The y-intercept the y-intercept is b, is any rational number. It can be a fraction, a decimal, a negative number, a positive number, or 0. Y should always be by itself. This y cannot be with anybody else, by itself. The graph will always be diagonal up or diagonal down and horizontal. These are the only three graphs you will use when you have slope-intercept form. You cannot use vertical line because the vertical line does not have a y-intercept. And you see here we must have a y-intercept. The x-intercept and the y-intercept are different and there must be two if the line is diagonal. So you can have two intercepts if the line is diagonal. You saw that in our picture before. And if the line is horizontal, then you'll only have the y-intercept. You will not have the x-intercept. Why? Because the horizontal line does not cross the x-intercept. All right, so then you have the standard form. How is it written? AX plus BY is equal to C. Capital A, don't write small a, capital B, and capital C. Do not write small a, B, or C. X and Y must be small letters. A cannot be 0. Any other one can be 0. B can be 0, C can be 0. A cannot be 0. A, B, and C are integers. Okay? A, B, and C are integers, but you cannot use 0 in A. Alright. X and Y must be together on one side of the equation. For you to be standard form, X and Y must be on one side and C by itself. Okay? The x-intercept and the y-intercept are different, and they must be two if the line is diagonal. And if the line is horizontal, then it will only have the y-intercept. Then the next form is called the point-slope form. And that is how it is written, the point-slope form. You will see this in a few lessons to come. Maybe 2 or 3 lessons down, you will see the point-slope form. Okay? You must know all the forms. You must know. They will ask you, write this equation in standard form. Write this equation in point-slope form. Write this equation in slope-intercept form. Make sure this equation is in direct form. So you must know how each one of them looks like. Okay? Now we move on. Now, here is a question. You'll be asked in an open-ended question or a writing task or a performance task. How many intercepts does a vertical line have? A vertical line has only one intercept. It is called the x-intercept because it only intersects the x-axis. The vertical line only intersects the x-axis. The vertical line does not have a y-intercept because it does not intersect the y-axis. We come here. How many intercepts does the horizontal line have? A horizontal line has only one intercept. It is the y-intercept because it only intersects the y-axis. The vertical line does not have any y-intercept. Sorry, this is supposed to be the horizontal line. Ooh, why did I write this? I forgot to change it. The horizontal line, yes, because we are talking about the horizontal line. The horizontal line does not have an x-intercept because it does not cross the x-axis. Okay? So change this to horizontal. So the horizontal line does not have an x-intercept because it does not intersect the x-axis. Now, how many intercepts should any linear graph have? Any linear graph, diagonal up, diagonal down, horizontal, vertical. How many intercepts should any of these lines have? A linear graph should have at least one intercept. A linear graph can have one intercept. Which ones? Direct variation, vertical, or horizontal. Why did I say direct variation has one intercept? Because it is at the same place. It's the same number, okay? Or a linear graph can have two intercepts. The diagonal lines that are not direct variation. That means they don't go through 0, 0. Or they don't pass through the origin, okay? So which linear graphs can have two intercepts? The diagonal linear graphs that are not direct variation, which means they do not pass through the origin. Remember, all linear graphs have an intercept because they should cross either the x-axis or the y-axis. Okay? All right. So now here, find x and y-intercept, state them, and then use them to graph. You have 3 parts to answer. They gave you an equation. They want you to find the x and y-intercepts. After you find them, you must state them. After you state them, you must use them to graph. Okay? So, how do I find? I do like this. So I like dividing by 2. So I want to do the x-intercept here, and I will do the y-intercept here. This way I know I am doing all my work correctly. So this is 2x plus 3y is equals to 24. When I have the x-intercept, it means x, 0. So who is 0? Y. Y must be 0. 2x plus 3 bracket 0 equals 24. Then this becomes 0. 2x equals 24. Divide by 2, divide by 2. Don't forget your bridge. This goes away because it is 1. So I have x equals to 12. So here is my x-intercept. I do my y-intercept. My y-intercept, it is 0, y. X is 0. So 2 bracket 0. So I'm replacing in my equation. So, oh no, let me just write 2x plus 3y is equals to 24. The x, that is 0, is what I'm replacing. So 2 bracket 0 plus 3y is equals to 24. This becomes 0. 0 plus 3y, 3y. 3y equals to 24. Divide both sides by 3. Y is equals to 8. Okay? Don't forget your bridge, so that you don't forget to do things on both sides. Now, I have so I write my x-intercept. X-intercept is 12, 0 in a bracket. This is my answer. My y-intercept. My y-intercept is, there should be a hyphen over there. My y-intercept is 0, 8. And this is my other answer. I needed to state both of them. I needed to find both of them. All right. Oh, yes. Okay, you can box that and box that. Okay, then you need to graph. Now, x is 12. I don't have 12 because my graph stops at what number? So my 12 will be, what is this? This is 6, 7. If I draw my line all the way here. 8, 9, 10, 11. This is 11, and then 12 will be here. Let's say 12 is here, yes? because my graph ended at 6. All right, so I want 12, 0. 12, 0 will be on the x-axis over here. And then I need 0, 8. My graph stopped at 8, yes. 0, 8, there. And then with my ruler, I join my points. So I take my ruler, I connect my dots, like that, and then I join them. Just like that. Okay? All right. Let's do here, this one. Same thing. You want to find the x-intercept. You remind yourself x, 0. And here you want to find the y-intercept. You remind yourself 0, y. So that you know you need to put 0 on x. So that you know you need to put 0 on y. So we want to find x-intercept. So this is y is equals to -8 over 9 x minus 16. I put my bridge. Y is 0 is equals to -8 over 9x minus 16. I need to bring 16 together with 0 because they are friends. I will add 16 on both sides. This goes away because a number plus its inverse gives me 0. Then 0 plus 16 is equals to -8 over 9x. Then I need to use multiplicative inverse. I'm going to use a different color. So I'm going to write here my multiplicative inverse. 9 over -8 multiply. And then over here, 9 over -8, and then I multiply. Then I bring down my question. 16, don't forget my bridge, -8 over 9x. So this becomes 1, because a number times its multiplicative inverse is 1. And then this one becomes -18. How do I know? -8 goes into 16 -2 times. And 9 times -2 is -18. So I will write x is equal to -18. And that's my answer on this side. Now I need to do the y-intercept. I don't need to solve. I should know this is my y-intercept. Y equals to 0, -16. So there is my y-intercept. So remember, when it is in standard form, you must solve both ways. If it is in slope-intercept form, as long as y is by itself, just look there and write. So now you state them. X-intercept is -18, 0, bracket. And then you graph. We don't have -18 on the graph. I'll send you a graph that has bigger numbers, then you will print, okay? And then y-intercept is what? 0, -16. See? For here, you just look. This is your B, and it is negative, and you write there. Same thing here. I see it, I just write it. Y-intercept is 0, 6. I don't need to solve it. Then I will solve here x-intercept. X-intercept, x, 0. So y should be 0. So 0 equals to 3x plus 6. Subtract 6 on both sides. This becomes 0. This becomes -6 equals to 3x. Don't forget your bridge. Divide both sides by 3. X is -2. So your x-intercept is -2, 0. Now my pencil is not sharp. And I need to draw my graph. Box this correctly, there. All right, so now I need to graph them. 0, 6, 0, 6, right there. Find a sharp pencil. I don't even think this is sharp. 0, 6, I put my dot there. The other one is negative 2, 0. Negative 2, 0 is right here. And then I join my line. Then how do I know I'm correct? My slope is positive. My line is going up. I am correct. Okay? This one should be going down because your slope is negative. Okay? So then, with your ruler, you join your points with a straight line. I don't even think one straight line. Don't draw two lines, one straight line. It's like I didn't put my ruler nicely. And when you erase so that it is clear you drew a new line. All right, so there is my graph. This one I erased. So there is my graph. Then you label your graph with the equation. Y equals 3x plus 6. That equation goes to the graph. When you draw a graph, you label it, okay? So I'll print a graph that has bigger numbers, like 16, negative 18, this. I'll find it and I'll send it there. All right, do your examples, ABC. See you tomorrow. If you have any questions, ask.